Good morning. How you doing? Gina said that people are sick of Zoom. We only have 61 participants. When we started doing these back in March, and Zoom was a new thing, we were getting 350 to 400 people participating on Zoom. And Heather, I think we can talk about really even in our mastermind groups, we started getting to a point where attendance on Zoom was going down, and then we started having the live attendance, and actually attendance started going back up. We're basically having full mastermind groups. So I'm hoping we hit 100. Otherwise, half of the attendance will be sitting right here in the room, guys. So I hope you guys are doing well. What a beautiful day out, and looks like the weather's going to continue to be nice. First of all, a big shout out to my volleyball team for winning the league championship. After all that smack talking Gina and Ben and their team was doing, it was good to knock them off the throne after they claimed back to back, even though they would skip a session here or there when Gina was gone. So we want to get more of you guys out there next year, honestly, doing the volleyball stuff with us and other things. We really did find it was a great way on Tuesday nights. And we had some people that didn't even participate, that would just come out and have a drink, something like that. But just to get together and have some fun. So when we do that next year, we're gonna encourage more and more of you, teams and putting groups together to come out there and do that out at the Mark. So Gina and Christy, I think they were just trying to make me happy, said, we've got the video, don't worry about it. And I saw Gina just walking back in her room, so we're gonna play that here real quick. But those that were sports fans, the Chiefs played horrible for 3.5 quarters. And then they had a guy kick 258-yard field goals, but he really kicked it 4 times. So Gina, you want to run up that video, and then I'll chat a little bit about it. Heather will probably give the most commentary on this because I know Heather loves sports.
My favorite thing in the whole wide world.
Of a big victory, can Kansas City kick it?
Hold on. Before the snap, there was a timeout.
Flag.
And there's a flag on the field.
Was it a false start or offside? Offside, probably.
False start. Number 73. Offense.
How do you feel about a
58-yarder?
That's the number he's already hit.
This one's more uncomfortable.
Oh,
I was really certain on the last one because.
So
you got that one pitch though. You know, it's the guy who can throw. This 73. You saw the little flinch.
Yeah, Allegretti flinched just a little bit. So now you've tied Nick Lowry's mark in the history of Kansas.
Okay, that was moments ago, and they marked off the penalty yardage there. Meanwhile, he tried a second attempt, and they called a timeout to try and ice him. The field goal attempt was good at that point, so here comes the third attempt at a snap and a game-winning kick. Wow.
Oh, my goodness. One more time. Let's watch.
They're all gassed right now. No energy left for anybody on this field.
The kick. It's good for the win. 58 yards. Harrison Butker for the second time from long distance. And Kansas City takes it in overtime, 23-20.
Gillette.
So you guys know we always want to start every sales meeting out. Jay will be doing the same thing in Grit. We're going to have him talk about that here in a second with the Zig Ziglar rule. You know, people would always say Zig, that motivation, inspiration stuff doesn't last. He says neither does bathing. That's why I think you should do it daily. We want to always do an inspirational bit. I mean, what's more inspirational than watching the Kansas City Chiefs win in overtime, guys? Gina, Christy, good job, guys. So just playing with you. I loved it. I know most of you are like, who gives a shit? What's he showing that for? I'm just trying to make myself happy today, guys.
Whatever works.
As Shannon says, it's all about me.
It is.
She walks in the room, calls me a yuppie and everything else. I'm like, I don't know the abuse I take around here. So, guys, I want to get running here on sales meeting. To start off with, we are going to have Zoom video equipment and speakers are being put in the big conference room this week. Maggie's been working on that. We ordered that a couple weeks ago. After Jay talks about grid, I'm going to talk a little bit about explosion, but that's why we're putting that in there. So from here on out till the end of the year, we're going to try to do exactly what we're doing in mastermind groups. We're going to get an exact count, but we believe we can socially distance about 60, maybe 70 people up here in the conference room, and then we can probably put even another 15 or 20 on the outside of the conference rooms and do some social distancing. So we believe we can fit 75 to 90 people start attending sales meetings here in the office when we do them on Tuesdays. So after we get this equipment in and get the explosion event done and test it there, we're going to start having our sales meetings be live here. We will continue, as we're doing the mastermind groups, offering it via Zoom till the end of the year. So our next sales meeting, if you would like to plan on attending, do that. I think we're going to have to figure out a RSVP type of system so we don't overwhelm that and all of a sudden have people on top of each other. And Jay, when he does his grit class, we're going to be doing the exact same thing. We'll be doing that by Zoom, and we'll be having people in that room. And we're thinking right now 50, no more than 60 people in that room for that also. So Jay, first of all, I want to welcome Jay back. I know I did that in a Friday email. Jay and I did a quick little video last week, but Jay was doing all our training for years, and we've got him back even a larger, better capacity now, really doing what Heather and Brian and Mark and Scott and everyone else is doing, which is basically being here to serve you guys, to help you take your business to the next level. Jay understands our DNA. You've been with us since our building over there in Miracle Hills. Yeah. So it's been a long time. We're shocked as anybody that he came back and wanted to work with us. But we're
shocked myself.
we're glad to have you. So first of all, before you get into grit, maybe just talk about being back and what you're going to be doing here. Because I want to know what you're going to be doing.
I've been wondering myself. So, no, I'm excited to be back. I think one of the things that there's a certain, or it's called like I don't know, it's kind of a personality survey type thing. There's lots of them out there, but there's one that just comes back to the core that I love to teach what I learn and coach and things like that. And I guess I have a better feeling of doing that. I love real estate, but I actually feel better coaching and teaching
and helping others.
Correct. So, there's no better environment than being here at the office with Heather and Vince and Brian and everybody that we work with. Even just meeting with John again and stuff like that. It's just a good environment to coach and help people become the best person that they can. I guess even for me, like since I last was here, I mean, I've dropped 50 pounds.
I've gained 20 of it. So,
yeah.
Heather's not gained any of it, obviously.
I made like 5 pounds.
Yep.
5 pounds.
And so I'm just always excited about what you can do to become the best version of yourself. And if I can help somebody be a small part of that for them to be successful in real estate or in their personal life, I'm excited to do that.
And many of you may not know, and Jay, we're going back probably a good 8 years now, right? But Jay was the person that originally started the mastermind groups with me. Prior to that, we had accountability groups. Those were failing miserably. And we started doing these mastermind groups. The first one was the Dirty Dozen. And so Jay will be diving back into 3 or 4 of our mastermind groups here in addition to that. But it's clearly an expanded role. It's helping problem solve, which none of us really love that, but we're here to help you guys because we know that we need you to get paid so you continue to be productive. So we're excited to have you back. Dive into grit. When's grit going to start? Who's our speakers and what are they going to be talking about? And then I guess even before you start that, maybe what's an overall view? Because Jay started these classes that Heather took over 3 years ago also. And so really, as Jay said, he does love going out and studying what other successful people are doing and how do you take the business next level. So kind of talk about overall conceptually, what has it started to be and what it's grown? Because we've actually went backwards, right? We started out with 8 weeks, 3 hours a day, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, that was the first.
And we found out
2 sessions, that was too much.
And we found out that you guys don't have an attention span to sit there for 3 hours at a time, and we started losing you too fast. So you've got more history on this than anybody. So kind of talk about what is the purpose of this and why do we do it in October and November?
Okay. Well, first reason, we found out that the 2 hours on a Thursday gets you excited for the weekend and for the week. Really, boils down to a prospecting class. It's where you're going to learn mindset, habits, things like that. And then we also bring in top producers. I guess what we're going to be doing, though, is we're starting in October because we always know the activities that you do now, you'll see results in 30, 60, 90 days from now. So this is going to set you up for having momentum starting 2021. But it's also going to give you some good habits to fall into as we're approaching the holidays. Because business actually doesn't stop during the holidays. And if we can increase some habits over these next 6 weeks to help you get through the holidays, and then just really strong for next year. So a couple things that I had written down. Great book out there called Atomic Habits. It says, if you're having trouble changing your habits, the problem isn't you. The problem is your system. Bad habits repeat themselves again and again, not because you don't want to change, but because you have the wrong system for change. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And so that's what we're going to be learning from the top producers, because they have systems in place and habits in place that help take them to the next level. So I'm excited. The first speaker we're actually going to have is Vince. I wanted him to come
Start
back.
out with a low standard so everyone else looks good.
File the packing order first.
And I asked him, it's been a while since he's talked about scarcity versus abundance. And I thought that this was a great year, that this is a time to probably focus on something like that.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, and then also, you guys probably seen it before, but he'll talk about the 86,400 seconds in a day. And so he'll be talking about that and how it relates to mindset and habits. And then the following week, we have April Williams. What I'm excited about, out of the, 7-8 years that we've been doing this, all the speakers that we have this year are all brand new. So it's really important to get in here and pick their brain about what's important to them. So we have April Williams that's coming in. She's going to talk about creating relationships in the real estate business. She's done a phenomenal job. And then we have Ben Mathis, who's going to be here on October 15th. I talked to him about his growth mindset, because he's basically exploded over the few years, about what his growth mindset and his goal setting is going to be. And then these people I love because they started about the same time I did. Joanne Keating and Shelly Nelson. They've been in just as long as I have, and they've had great consistency over the years and having longevity in real estate. And so, again, these are people that are going to be great to have sit here. So when they give their talks too, we're going to have an opportunity to do a question and answer at the end. And this is where you can find out anything that you need to know to help take yourself to the next level.
Right. And you've always tried to do, both of you have always tried to do their job of making sure that we have a lot of people that are individual agents, which is a big group, right? Ben's running what is a larger team, but April, Joellen, Shelly, a lot of people that you have here are individual agents too. So that concept of, okay, if I want to grow a team, here's the mindset to do that. But if I want to grow and be consistently a $10+ million producer, I can do that also.
Yep, definitely. And then we had Karen Jennings, and we thought not a better topic to say than how to stand tall in real estate. So excited to have her. She's just I've been in a mastermind with her. She's just a tremendous resource for our company, and excited to have her here. And then the last speaker is going to be Nico. I was excited. I was a little nervous as asking him. I know he's had, with his dad's passing and things like that, but I just felt he was such an impact on Nico's life, and Ralph was such an impact on real estate in general, just to learn Nico's perspective on learning from a legacy or from a legend and how he's creating his own legacy. Yeah. And so I'm excited to have Nico. Outside of that, with the speakers, we'll start each session. We're going to be talking about mindset, goal setting. We're going to be doing accountability. I have lots of little different, I guess, not games, but little activities, things that we'll be going over that will be fun. So I encourage you, we only have about 20 spots left for in-person, and then we'll be capped at our 60. So I would encourage you, Zoom will be fine, but you'll have more impact if you're here in person. So I encourage you to go to bhhsgrit.com and register. And then otherwise, if you're going to attend via Zoom, watch out for an email from me, because I'm going to need you guys to come in and pick up binders a couple days before. We have a crayon activity that we're going to be doing, so I need you guys to pick those up as well. But it's going to be fun. It's been 3 years since I've done this, so a little nervous, but I'm excited.
Well, I know
No one's more excited than I am.
Yeah.
So.
Heather's the most excited that Jay's back doing this for us. So she wanted a record card 3 years ago, as many of you know, to avoid doing this. So she thinks this is a lifetime ban on doing it, which is not necessarily what it is. It's going to be more of a team effort moving forward. So we're excited about doing that. Jay, thank you. As you see Jay floating around, he is currently up on the 3rd floor. We're going to actually be moving him down here at the beginning of the month to the 1st floor to get him fully engaged with what's going on. But please reach out to him. And Jay is going to be an incredible source for us. Really that theory. We're always like, we have to embrace change, right? looking at what's going on in other markets, looking at mindset and set, and just really how do we continue to develop and grow throughout time. So we're so excited to have Jay back, and we're really excited about doing it. Whether you've been to Jay's class before, whether you've been to Heather's class before, as Jay said, every one of these speakers are different speakers than we've had in the past. Every one of them is really going to share with that attitude of abundance what they're doing, what's working, what's not, how, it's going to be an encouraging environment. I totally agree with Jay's statement. If you're comfortable and you can, I think getting there and the energy you're going to pick up from being in that space with the 60 people versus the Zoom is going to be incredible. And we're seeing that on our mastermind groups every time. That the people showing up for the mastermind groups are saying there's more engagement, there's more interaction, there's quite honestly probably a little bit more distractions, but it's clearly a more productive meeting. So get signed up for that. I guess really to talk about that, Gina, I pointed at Gina over there, is going to be sitting out this morning. We're going to do the same thing for Explosion. We're going to try to fit 75, maybe even an Explosion. Now I started thinking about it because I think we put some outside that window and stuff like that. But she's going to send out where you're going to have to RSVP because we're going to be very limited on the number of people that can do Explosion. Why are we excited about this? Because we've never had you guys as agents invited in the past to Explosion. It's always been just our agents that are speaking Explosion attending this. It's going to be a mini version of it. In the past, we would always do roundtables, we would do breakout sessions, and we do panels. This is going to be 4 hours, September 30th. Please, please put this on your schedule. I promise you this will be worth your time. We'll have 20 top producing agents from around the country talking to you about really what they've learned out of COVID. There'll be a top producer panel. What have we learned from COVID? How do we communicate different? How are we going to have to do business different? And what are the effects of COVID? And I think there are a lot of things. I think we've talked in our mastermind groups that real estate is being viewed completely different than it ever has been before. And we're seeing that in the numbers. We will have a millennial-Gen Z group. We have a 23-year-old that has already done 75 deals over at Iowa Realty outside of Des Moines. That'll be on this group. And we've always talked about millennials for years and years now, but now X, Y, Z, I have to keep running through the generations there, but Z is now coming into the workplace, and they're going to be buyers as we start moving forward here. So how do we start communicating with them? So I think that'll be interesting. They'll really focus a lot on technology, social media, and how are they using those and diving in, not just through old school Facebook, but Instagram. People are going to talk about TikTok and things like that. So I think you'll pick up some stuff there. Another top producer panel talking kind of about their best practices. And then we have a luxury panel. And in the luxury panel, Gina, we've got people from Atlanta, San Diego, Santa Barbara, our own Deb Sizek. So guys, please, September 30th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Sign up if you want to be there live. We think that's going to be a very vibrant event. We'll be hosting the event up there in our main conference room. And then we'll be having the other guest speakers Zoom in from around the country. About half the people are our speakers, about half the people are speakers from around the country. So guys, I promise you, you will take things out of there. And as always, anything that we do, you're going to have an array of ideas that come out of that when we do a panel of 20 agents talking about what they're doing. Go back and figure out what's one or two things and implement those. Jay talks a little bit about, and really what he's doing here is a business growth prospecting activity, but there's always been an accountability part of that. And one of the things that we've done that I know not everyone loves, but I'm telling you, I'm seeing it across the country and within our organization, it yields results, is we have even accountability partners. I have a CEO group that I have an accountability partner that I talk to 5 days a week. And then internally within our management team, we've created accountability partners. And part of it is to get to know that person better. When you start talking to someone every day, 5 days a week, that you didn't know as well, even though you seem we work in the same organization. But the second part is really to be mindful of what are the things that I should be doing on a daily basis that's going to help me be more productive, better serve my clients, and continue to grow my business and take it to the next level. So one of the things, if you're not doing it, and I think in these times of COVID, this is more important than it ever probably has been in the past, is consider, should I get an accountability partner or 2 or 3 of us together for an accountability group where you're literally saying, here's the activities I'm doing on a daily basis. I completed that task, or I didn't complete that task. You encourage each other. It is going to change your mindset. It is going to help you be more mindful of what do you need to do to continue to improve what you're doing. And probably what we see out of this is people talk about, here's a book that I read, or here's something that I listened to. There'll be little tidbits that you're gonna be able to pick up there that's gonna help you. I know Jennifer, when I was talking to her down in Sarpy County, I think right after this, was talking about what's your why, and she was referencing back the Simon Sinek video that we saw from a TED Talk years ago. Great video to talk about. And in these times, when we're seeing these staggering numbers, and I continue to talk to people in the medical profession, and this is the most scary thing to me. We've talked a lot about this. Heather, jump in here if you want, in mastermind groups, is that about a month ago, I think it's 4 or 5 weeks ago, Ryan Estes sent me a report that said 1 out of 3, and I've talked to you guys about this, 1 out of 3 Americans are having symptoms of depression, anxiety, emotional distress, higher than level ever. I've talked to 2 CEOs on board of directors of medical things here at Creighton and the Methodist, and they're saying suicide attempts, and I'm hearing this from the Mayo Clinic, everything, are up substantially. So guys, this, as we continue to talk about, is a highly emotional transaction to start out with, forgetting that we're not socially interacting as much as we should, and COVID and all the things going on. So we've said this before, and I'm gonna say it to you again, please, 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 take a deep breath, look in the mirror, take a step back. We need to be a calming factor in these transactions. We have a highly emotionally charged transaction to start out with, and we need you to take a step back and take a deep breath. And one of the agents, I thought it was great, and one of the mastermind groups said, you know, they were upset about something, so they sent out this big, they typed out this big answer. Now, luckily they didn't hit click. They calmed down, and they went back and they erased it, but at least they made them feel better. Yeah. And so my point is, I understand, because we're seeing many of you that I consider very rational, calm people, sometimes acting a little crazy. And it's just the world we're in right now. But the numbers are true. And what's scary, and why do I continue to bring this up, is that number was 3 times higher than 6 months ago when we're in the middle of winter. History always tells us when we're in the middle of winter, we can't get out and do walks and do a lot of things that we're doing right now, that's when our mindset and our anxiety and our depression is higher. We are heading back into these months here again. So as we head back into these months, be mindful when we're dealing with our clients and for our own mental well-being, that we need to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves, right? The food we take, what are we doing to make sure mentally that we're waking up with a great morning routine to make sure that we can have a positive day, so we can be productive in our life. So it's a real deal, guys. We had in our managers meeting last week, one of the people said that a good friend of theirs that's always posting positive things on social media, right, was really suffering depression. And the person said, you know, I need to reach out to them. Guys, forgetting about real estate, we've got people we love that are suffering depression, anxiety, and stuff like this. Try to open your eyes and look around you and figure out, who can I reach out to help? We had another person who said their 20-year-old son's best friend just committed suicide. The stories I'm hearing like this are overwhelmingly, they're sad, but let's be a solution. Let's be there to honestly be nothing more than just to care and support them and help them and tell them that we're there no matter what they need. Real estate is kind of secondary right now. And if we're there for people, real estate will come up in many of these conversations, but there are people that need to lean on us. Love the video that we play more often than anything else, probably Stand By Me, right, Gina? This is a time where we need to be there to help other people, lean on us and stand by them. So, Heather, we've talked about a lot of things. Can you maybe dive into, there's the broker exclusive, that if they're getting those, make sure they're getting those to where they need to, and then the buyer's agency and broker exclusive, kind of talk about both those things. We've talked a lot of mastermind groups about those 2 subjects.
Yeah, so, you know, flashback though to the explosion, just in case you didn't know, we are going to do watch parties at all the offices, I believe. So if by chance you can't make it out to the Village Point office,
Mark's going to do one, and Jennifer's going to do one.
Yeah, we're
also.
going to have a couple different watch parties. So if you guys don't want to come in here and there's too many people here, you're going to have your own opportunity. If you want to stay in your own office, you can do that as well.
Please.
So broker exclusives right now, I would suggest getting them. We're seeing that come up again because there's such a scarcity of houses and listings out there in the marketplace that when anyone sees a moving truck, what are they called? Whatever, a dumpster. Can't think this morning. You know, anytime they see someone coming to your house or a garage sale, they're going up to the doors and knocking on them and getting these houses sold. They see a contractor going in, the contractor's telling somebody else that this house is coming on the market. It's a real issue again. So if you have anyone looking to sell in the future that says they're a couple months out, get an office exclusive signed by them and get it put in the system. When I say put in the system, turn it into the admin so you're in compliance with the real estate commission, not commission board's guidelines. So that's an important thing as well.
So for some reason, I don't know, I've got to call Maggie since we're done here. We continue to have some frustration. We felt that there should be a simple solution within our internal private Facebook page
Right.
to put broker exclusives on there, put a link where we can just go there. Many of you guys in our mastermind groups are saying, you know, a lot of people are pushing saying, I got this, I got this, I got this, but we're trying to simplify this process. So somehow, some way, as soon as we're done with this explosion thing and getting the Zoom set up for Jay's class and explosion, we've got to come up with a simple solution, a source for all potential buyers, because we've heard that in the mastermind groups, and all potential broker exclusive listings.
So if anyone's out there tech savvy, can come up with a great idea on how we can actually pull this off Facebook. That's what we were trying to do. And for some reason, the tab is showing up on some agents' Facebook pages and not on others. So, and now we're trying to work it where we can get it on the back office of the bhhsamp.com site, but it's not quite ready yet. So if there's another way that we can do it, that would be awesome.
And broker exclusives, I guess I want to kind of talk about a couple of things. One is that I'm seeing, when I'm looking at our numbers, we've been outperforming the market the last 2 to 3 months. Our market share, we're performing at 41 to 42% market share, where we're running 39.5% total. So our numbers are slowly going up. But I'm also looking at some of the other companies that have more part-time agents, and they're performing the last couple months below their market share. Heather's going to give you the numbers real quick on the active listings, which are at all-time lows, which are crazy right now. But what I'm seeing is that I think the reason we're doing so well is because those of you that are out there that are doing the shitty letter, that are basically farming neighborhoods, that are reaching out to your database on a regular basis, you're going after for self-interest, you're finding a way to get a listing that's not on the market for your buyer. Carrie pulled me the numbers earlier this morning. We're already well over $300 million of transactions that we've closed this year that have not hit MLS. We're on our target to hit over $500 million, right, of business that you guys are going to do that's not in MLS. A lot of that is going to be, one-party listings, upper end new construction, broker exclusives, and stuff like that. So, guys, you're outperforming the market. You're doing a great job. But let's continue to get creative on what we can do there. But a couple of things is, Deb Ellis put her own personal house on our internal Facebook page. She was going to list it. She finally does list it, but 1.1 million. Kathy Sledge sees that. It trips the thought in her head. She now calls a past client and friend of hers saying, you know what, I think this is a perfect house for you. They go out and purchase that house for, I think it's $1 million plus. I don't know if it's disclosed yet, so I'm not sure if we can disclose that. $1 million plus, and she goes and lists their house for $900,000. Somebody not even thinking about moving triggered that thought. Shannon saw something come across saying, I'm looking for a house in Midtown, this type of thing. A house she could not sell 2 years ago for $225. She goes back and says, I think the house is actually worth $250, $260 right now. And that deal doesn't go together. But that rethought, they were just kind of going to stay there and they weren't thinking about moving. That they're like, my God, if we can get that type of money, let's look at that. She goes ahead and lists it at $250. Multiple offers come in over $260. Some cash, not subject to appraisal. One of our other agents comes in at $275. Goes back to them and say, listen, if you'll pay $270, remove the appraisal contingency, we'll do that deal. A house that could not sell 2 years ago at $225 sells $270, not subject to appraisal 2 years later. So the broker exclusive is something, as Heather says, they're looking at listing. Mamie Jackson has someone that wasn't going to list till next spring. She said, oh, no, that upper end market's crazy hot, 900,000 plus, put it on, sold it, broker exclusive. So there's a lot of opportunities there. But you guys, the most important part of this is you've got to stimulate the conversation and the mindset of your client out there. Mike Pettit said in our mastermind group that he's ran these numbers, and the average house of the last 4 years, Mike, if you're on, I got this wrong, put in the chat what the real number is. But I believe he said over the last 4 years, the average house under I thought it was under 250, something like that, is around $45,000. And then they start calling all their clients. And they're finding, I think he said 80-85% of their clients really don't have any idea how much equity they actually have in their house. So we've been talking about low interest rates and talking about buying power, but we also need to be talking about reaching out to those people under $300,000 and talking about how much equity they've built. They've got so much equity to take And if they're moving up to a higher price range in today's interest rate, they probably bought their 250 house at a 4.5% interest rate. They can now go buy, because of these crazy interest rates, a 4.50 house with not that much more payment when you take the equity you have and the buying power of buying under 3% interest rate and do that. So please reach out to your database more frequently than ever with an I care attitude and sincerely reach out and how are they doing, but also then educate them on what's going on in the marketplace. So walk through the numbers of listings we have, I guess, and kind of wrap up.
Not great. So
Not great.
I pulled up all the Douglas
Jay?
and Sarpy County houses for sale, including new construction, the ones that were called homes for sale and no shows. For new construction and existing, we have 987 houses. For existing houses only, we are down to 583. I did pull out all houses that say pending in the public remarks, and that's a total of 61. So we have less than 600. This is the lowest that we've seen in years. So we're doing at least 1,300 transactions through this office a month. And it just goes to show whatever you guys are doing for your, broker exclusives, office exclusive, one-party listings, it's working. You guys are going out there and killing it because you guys are selling twice as many homes that are currently on the market.
So to talk about the numbers, guys, what's going on in the marketplace right now defies logic.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, we had the floods and it kind of pushed everything back 45 days, 30, 45 days. It seems like COVID is pushing everything back 60 to 90 days. We know in presidential election years, and even if it's been in the business long enough, that the market always starts slowing down in August because people kind of go to the sidelines. What's going to happen with the presidential election? That's not happening. Here's where we're at. Last August of 19, we did 1,284 new pending transactions. August of 20, we did 1,340. And I think when Scott gave me the numbers actually for August were down. So we did basically almost 60 transactions more this August than last August, and the market is down. We're seeing it to be strong. Last September, you guys did 1,052 new pending transactions. As of this morning, we're already at 837. We're on target to hit 1,250, 1,300 new pending transactions in the month of September. Here we are a month and a half out from the election. History would tell us that our 20 number should be well below the 19 number. Right. So what we know is that you guys are reaching out to people, touching your database and stimulating conversations. But as Jay said, there's always going to be business. Just because we start heading into the holidays, just because we start heading into colder weather, do not stop what you're doing. There's going to be people out there looking at doing things, especially with the marketplace. We're seeing 300 and below continues to be crazy strong. But what is going on is we're not seeing 20, 30 offers. We're seeing three to 8 offers or something like that. We're still seeing multiple offers. But we're continuing to see the upper end market of $1 million plus continues to be crazy strong. I cannot believe every week how many people are talking to me saying, I've got a buyer looking for $1.5 million, $2 million, and they can't find anything. And someone's always saying, I'm putting a deal together. And a lot of those deals, that $1 million plus deal, a lot of those deals are you guys going out and searching and getting a broker exclusive or a one-party listing of those things. So please keep having those conversations. But I'm gonna beg you, and I'm gonna beg Jay and his class to beg you, make sure you're reaching out more frequently than you have before. Utilize social media, utilize email, drip campaigns, and other things, but make sure you're having some one-on-one conversations. And the last part of that, Heather, that I think that we've talked about, Jay, any ideas that you have, we'd love to have you jump in here, is we can't do client appreciation parties. We can't go to the rooftop of pitch and have 200 people show up. But we had just 2 weeks ago after the car show, 3 agents come to our parking lot and do food trucks. We're having lots of people saying that they're starting right now to go to the berry farm and to the pumpkin patches and stuff like that. Most of these deals are being done as outdoor things. I think you can still bring people in to have, as the holidays come, to give them pies. We're having tons of people doing drop-bys. I want you guys to continue to think about what can we do to stay connected to our buyers, our sellers, our database in a many way.
We're seeing a lot of neighborhood stuff too. So like bringing food trucks into the neighborhood and either having someone sponsor it or the neighbors just pay for their own food and you provide all the alcohol or drinks, whatever it is that they have. You're bringing in like the frozen truck for the kids, the snow cone thing, whatever it is. I mean, whatever you want, but if you can make it more neighborhood centric where it's outside, I think people are enjoying that also. I know Lori and those guys have done like a shred day where you can have your clients bring in the shredding stuff. I know a lot of people at home right now are kind of purging because they're sick of looking at everything in their house. I know that you could do some type of donation day as well. So just think of some things outside of the box that can help people in this time and also give them another house.
Yeah. But here's how crazy we look at these numbers that we did. 1,284 last year for new pendings, 1,340 this year. But last year we did 779 new listings, and this year we only did 612 new listings. We did 167 less new listings in August, yet we sold almost 60 houses more, which tells me we're getting more deals that are one parties, that are broker exclusives, that are not running through the system. So you guys continue to stay focused on that. You're doing a great job of that. A couple other quick things is, I think some of you don't know or you forgot, but we do have this other office down in Sarpy County, out at that's sitting vacant. It makes me a little crazy. So 108th and 370, it is beautiful. We've got two really cool conference rooms up front there. Stop in there with your clients, stop in there to utilize it. But if anybody has any interest in being down there, please reach out to me so we can talk to you. I've got an agent I'm going to talk to today that thinks maybe going to move a team down there. It's a beautiful, beautiful space. But we have had some people go down there and pop in there and utilize it. So if you're working out west and you're down in Sarpy working on a deal, use that as a vehicle to meet your clients down there. And in Council Bluffs, did it finally get all cleaned up last year? I know we got our final permit last week. We got the furniture moved in last week. So we're hoping to maybe do some sort of open over there over the next 30 days also. But we're blowing up. You know, we went from a distant third, fourth in Council Bluffs 2 years ago to there's three of us right now. Heartland, us, and Dodge are all neck and neck for the market share over there. And we really believe we are going to dominate that market and be the broker with a market share over in Council Bluffs as we have over here in Omaha over the next 2 years. But we brought in some crazy productive agents, and we're continuing to take a big piece of that market. So again, if you're working over there, please pop over there and get in that office. And that office looks really cool. So we've got some great spaces. We've got COVID, which means you guys aren't occupying those great spaces. So please get out there, get in offices. We like seeing you around here. I have seen, Gina, the last week or two, activities picked up a pension here, not to the activity it was prior to COVID, but we're seeing more and more of you guys get in the office now. You know, Mark reminded me that in the offices that we do need to wear masks. Jay, you are 6 feet away from me, I hope. Yeah. You know, it's a real deal. And I do think to that point, COVID, we continue to hear a small percentage of people saying, I'm just not going to put my house in the market, even though I wanted to sell this year because of it. I think that we already had a very low inventory market, and that is really compressing that even to another level.
And I think that's why we've had more upticks on the broker exclusives too, because some people were too nervous about letting too many people in their house, and so they would allow us to do the office exclusives also. So
perfect. You want to talk about submitting pendings? You're saying that we're having some problems, admin problems, that people are, you're pending contracts and you're not submitting them. So talk about what they need to do. That's a little over my head.
I don't know if you guys are lagging or there's some agents that aren't putting them in a timely fashion, but if you have a listing that's gone pending or a pending that's gone pending that you represent the buyer side, either way, if you have a listing and a Berkshire Hathaway agent sells it, you need to submit the aloof and have it in as a buying side as well. That way they can process your side, so you get paid and the other agent gets paid as well, because we're seeing some of those not getting processed in a timely manner and they're getting held up a little bit. Also, last week, I know we had a little bit of a lag time with processing some new purchases because we had the auditor here. With that being said, the agents or the admin staff is now ordering your warranties, your 210 warranties and your AHS warranties.
Yes. So not doing it just when you list it, but they're also doing it on the buyer side.
They're also doing it on the buyer side. So if you want, put on the escrow cover sheet what kind of warranty you want, or type it in the notes and they'll make sure they order it for you. But with that being said, since it was a little bit of a lag time on that, and if you had a quick inspection and you wanted the buyer-seller coverage for your client, if you would have had that written in the contract and the girls weren't able to order that for you in a timely manner, that would have covered your seller during that inspection portion. So if you're looking for that buyer-seller coverage, make sure you're writing that in your contract. There's no extra cost to it.
Right.
It's just if it's written in the contract.
If the buyer's getting it on AHS, I know for sure that they'll cover the seller through that period, which now means that's going to help on repairs for electricians and plumbers and air. You know, there was a deal where an air conditioner, they did the inspection, AHS ended up replacing the air conditioner on the thing, the deal stayed together because of it. Otherwise, we were going to have a major expense that the deal was going to fall apart on.
So typically, they say that warranty has to be ordered before the inspection timeline. But if it's
Which
written in the contract, yes. But if it's written in the contract and there's a lag in the processing, that would cover you during that point. So
yes. Scott was I've been sending Scott to MLS meetings, which is good. I hate meetings. So it's better to send Scott than me, but he said there's not much going on in MLS, but one of the things is they have changed the master bedroom and bath, and that is now being called a primary bedroom and bath. So that I think is effective immediately, if I'm not mistaken. So when you're looking at there won't be a master bedroom and bath anymore. It's going to be called primary, and then a new purchase agreement will be finished and coming out in January. So we will probably have Scott on here in our next meeting, kind of walking through what those changes are going to be, so we can start getting used to that. I need to probably review our audit. I know that our audit was, when I talked to John Clark, who's there, he says it's the same old, you know, we're getting late. One of the things he said, we're going to have a lot of late net sheets. That was the biggest complaint that he had with us. So I'll review that, and we'll go through some of that stuff with you guys here on the next commission thing. But get out there, get your CE done. Talking about Explosion, that'll be broker-proof CE, where you can get your hours. They have to do those in 2 hour. Gene, I'm looking at you. We have to do those in 2 hour spurts. So you'll have to attend 2 hours of those. If you're live, and then for one of them, then you leave, you have to get on Zoom for the other, but you can get some broker CA in that. So please do that as soon as possible. Did you want to add to that?
So in case people everyone always calls me every year about this, you need 18 hours of CE in order to renew. You have to renew every 2 years. If you're a new agent this year, you still have to renew, but you don't need any CE. Your 18 hours can be 6 hours of broker approved.
Yes.
And then it has to be the other 12 of CE courses. Out of those 12 hours of CE courses, 6 have to be R, and one of those classes should be in ethics, because the board makes you take that every 2 years. So in case you didn't know, that's the breakdown. You need 4 R classes, or 4 hours of R, 8 hours of regular, no, I'm sorry, 6 hours of R. Yeah, 6 hours of regular, and then 6 hours of broker approved. So.
And then grit will be broker approved. All of those sessions will be as well.
Perfect. One last thing that I think I had on your notes is if you have an exclusive buyer's agency agreement, make sure that that gets the appropriate people.
Yeah, so Vince is telling everybody, when you go out to get those for sale by owners, make sure you get those exclusive buyer's agency signed to make sure we get paid. Well, we actually had one where the buyers had agreed to pay the agent, where typically the sellers agree to pay.
Yes.
So in that case, you need to make sure that the ATS or whatever title company you're using has a copy of that broker exclusive or buyer exclusive agency agreement, because they will not know to collect for that, because a lot of times those are in your file and they never come into play. So make sure you verify those numbers on the closing disclosure ahead of time, make sure it's been collected for, and make sure it's not going to skew numbers, because if you try to switch it a day before closing and add those numbers, it will flop everything in the lending side of things, and it will disrupt the closing for you. So just make sure you're getting those turned in if the buyer's paying for the buyer exclusive agency commission.
Yeah. Couple notes for you guys. First of all, is the Sunshine Kids golf event, which was really, really bad weather a couple weeks ago, is now going to be September 29th. I know that's this upcoming Tuesday. It's next Tuesday. So the day before, so busy week next week, guys. Golf on the 29th. I know that that's sold out. Out there at Tiburon Golf Course, but please remember that on your calendar for sign up, because I think we have a lot of us out there. Then September 30th will be Explosion, so please put that on your calendar. We're going to do one more car show, weather permitting, one more car show, and that's been a big hit. We had 600 people show up the last time, and it was sprinkling and raining and cold out. So it's just crazy to me that people are just continuing to starving for doing something. There's some chat, so I want you to look at, maybe go look at the chat, see if there's something we need to answer. But the car show will be the 2nd October. I don't have that exact date. The 2nd Saturday in October. But I'm going to encourage you, when we're talking about mini appreciation parties, we've got a handful of agents that are using this as a vehicle, an excuse to reach out to their database. And what we're seeing is so many people are bringing kids. I know my R8, there was 4 or 5 sets of parents that knew that it was my car and came up to me and said, my kid loves your car. And so I'm like, let them get in the car. They take pictures with them. And other people are doing that. It's crazy. The Ferraris and McLarens, like, these guys they love the cars, but they're letting people come up and really look at them and stuff like that. So use this as an opportunity again to reach out to people to stay connected with them. There was one more thing in my head that I totally forgot. Any of the chats that we need to answer? The Teams class. Do you know about the Teams class?
Yes. If you're on a team, you have to take the Teams class within 6 months of joining a team. And I believe you have to take that every 2 years as well. So
is Mark doing one of those classes
for us? He does offer that class, I believe. And if not, it's online, but believe Mark Weiner does offer that class.
Somebody recommends 60 personal coaching class?
No,
that's different.
And if you're a new licensee, they did change rules. If you sign up after July 1st, you are required to take an additional 12 hours of courses within, I think, 120 days. So if you're new, make sure you get that on your schedule.
So I guess the other chat was really, so brand new agents, we want you to go through training classes. Missy's doing those, Mark's doing those, but Mark is now, he has a class also, no charge to the agents, which is a kind of a class that he's been doing in the past. I think that they've been charging for, that you can go jump in that, really focus on new agents, diving deeper into purchase agreements, listing agreements, and then how to grow and build your business. So let's get from Mark some more information on that and get that out to you. Jay's going to be diving into all of this training and seeing what can we do to expand it, to make it more robust, to help you guys. And the last thing, the sales convention still seems to be floating in the air, but it's looking more and more like they are going to hold a live event in Vegas. I think that I need to get a hold of Carrie, and I'll have her get an email out yet today. If you could ask her to please do that for me. But I believe bulk registration, so we can still, they extended the price from sometime in June till I believe the end of this month. So let us get some clarity on that over the next September 30th bulk registration. So we'll get clarity. Are they going to have it there or not? Because that was up in the air. I know they're going to have a Zoom a part of that, but I think they're also going to have a live part of that. So we will let you know about that. You know, if it's safe, I would like to get out there. It's just so hard right now at this time to say where we're going to be on this. So we will get more information out to you on that as we come forward. Anything else that you can think of that you want to chat about to make these wonderful people more wonderful? Brian Thomas always says when we have our weekly meetings, it's hard. One question we ask at the end is, what are you going to do to make yourself better? And Brian's like, it's just really hard to make me better. And you know, that's up for discussion maybe, but anything that you guys, either one of you have final comments?
I don't think so.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, I think it's all what Jay's class is. Two things. You've got to continue to prospect. You got to continue to reach out to people. You got to stimulate that thought process in them of how can you get them to think about selling their house and buying another house and educate them on what's going on in the marketplace. But guys, let's make sure that we understand that it is real out there, that there are people suffering depression, anxiety, attempting suicides, and we need to be there for the people that we love and we care. So guys, I love you guys. We're going to start, like I said, please get into Jay's class live. You've got to RSVP for that. Explosion next week, get in there live. We're going to get 75 of you in that. And then we're going to start doing the same thing in sales meetings. I'm going to try to start getting 75 people between the room and the back. We're going to have to play with this. You know, that's not an exact number, but we want to start getting you guys in here live because we do know that we are social creatures. We need, and this is the reason they're saying that depression, anxiety, and emotional distress is up, is because we're social creatures. We need human interaction with each other. We need to get back to encouraging each other, to being around each other, and just enjoying life. So guys, I appreciate you. Gina and Christy, thank you very much for that wonderful, motivational, inspirational 58-yard field goal, that kick that he made 3 times in a row. Guys, have a wonderful day. Keep prospecting. We're here for you. Reach out to us. Take care. Bye-bye.